Hey everybody, it was Art Gilman here. So now MSNBC is reporting and the others that Biden has canceled $10,000 in student loan debts, but also $20,000 for Pell Grants, which are disproportionately given to minorities. In other words, minorities will disproportionately be given more debt relief than, especially particularly white males. They actually use the fact that white males pay off their student loans more on average to claim that student loans are racist and therefore minorities should get more relief. They call it a social justice issue, and it's apparently a racial and gender angle on it. Go ahead and look at this.
This is going to affect 43 million Americans. That number is counting everyone who has federal student loans, but it will mean more for other groups, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, when you look at that, sort of as you mentioned, this relief will have a huge impact on Black and Latino borrowers, especially. In fact, if you break down those numbers, 90% of Black students and 72% of Latino students take out loan compared to 66% of white students. And then if you actually sort of fast forward to 4 years after graduation, the average Black college graduate owes more than $52,000 compared to around $30,000.
Okay, so this is where they're trying to say that white people are privileged and student loans are racist, when in fact it will put an undue burden and tax on especially white males who have paid it off more often and tend to work in the trades and take more relevant, more difficult to get degrees. As you can see right here, 12 years after starting college, in other words, about on average 8 years after you end college, white men have paid off their student loans about 44%. Student loan holders are more likely to be women and people of color. So as you can see, then they add the racial angle on it, try to make it look like privilege as a result of racism. And then student loan debt is a social justice issue. Here's what President Biden can do to change it. And remember, Pell Grants, especially disproportionately they get $20,000 in relief instead of $10,000, which are overwhelmingly minorities. So as you can see, for their own accomplishments, working hard and paying it off, taking more difficult majors, perhaps saving up more money to go to school, disproportionately white males are going to be taxed on this, especially in the trades, small business owners, etc., when when they are already disincentivized, legally disincentivized from being hired in many ways, tax incentives, affirmative action, various other ways. 34% of white males had to lie about their race just to get into college, not because of a lack of good scores, but because they had to score so much higher. And even on top of that, then they have to get past an admissions board, which doesn't like them and doesn't want them in there. And as you can see, a lot of the white males who went there maybe went for more relevant majors. That's a very important factor. They're not saying here, so they didn't go for useless degrees, useless majors, didn't get in as much debt. Instead, they maybe went disproportionately into more skilled trades. And then when you see higher percentages of white males in those skilled trades, which keep in mind, only about 29% of the population, even smaller percentage of the working age workforce, even though we're helping take care of, especially with the higher disproportion of elderly relatives and wives and children and all that, we're actually taking care of about 60% of the population with our labor and our pay, and we're disincentivizing every single way, and now including government relief. So your own accomplishments are being used against you, your own responsibility is being used against you, and then turn around against you and called privilege right here in the numbers. This is Ozark Gilman. You'll have a good one.